Hey everyone, and welcome to Ask One, episode 248. If you have a question on answer next week's episode, leave it down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And this video is graciously sponsored by Whatnot. More on them and what I'll be doing on Whatnot this weekend later in the video. Hint, hint. Anyway, first question from Alex says, do you think that the new 5 vs. Battle Pack potentially being far less successful than the original, it may damage our chances of getting different Phase 2 clones in the future? I no longer think fears like this are warranted. I think that LEGO very clearly sees the demand for LEGO clone troopers. That has become very obvious this year. In 2022 alone, they released the Clone Command Station, the Republic Fighter Tank, the ATTE, and of course now into January 2023, the new 5 vs. Battle Pack. So that's 4 clone trooper sets in the span of about a year. That's about as good as you can ask for. And let me just grab, I just happen to have one handy. Whether or not this set sells far less successfully than the original, which is going to. This is going to be a less successful set than the original 5 vs. Battle Pack. That's not a hot take. It's not a controversial. It's just the way it has to be because the set doesn't lend itself to buying as many as the original. And LEGO knows this. Don't think that LEGO Star Wars is looking at this thinking that someone like me is going to go out and buy 300 again, because that's just not going to happen, Like, and many people that, buy far less, like if you bought 5 of the original set, you're probably not also going to buy 5 of these. You might buy 1 or 2 to complement it. Think of it more of a complementary set. And I also think that if you look at it through the mindset that other LEGO sets exist for $20 that aren't battle packs, and they apparently sell just fine for LEGO to continue making more sets like them, that a battle pack that is absolutely going to sell more than the Rey versus Kylo Ren set, more than the Ahsoka versus Darth Maul set, sets that most people would only buy 1 of. Maybe the average buyer of this set is buying 2 or 3 versus the average buyer of a Jedi duel set is buying 1, or an Anakin Starfighter from 2018. You're only buying 1 Anakin Starfighter. And obviously in 2022, they came out with the Obi-Wan Starfighter. So it's not like, a set that sells less necessarily means they're not just going to make more in the future of a similar thing. So I wouldn't worry about that set damaging our chances at getting anything in the future, because it's just not going to do that. General Grievous with a question on 94 upvotes, and a question that I feel like I get every week and I just keep avoiding, but he says, do you think LEGO is getting better at listening to fans and making the sets we want? Absolutely. Like, to say no would be absolutely preposterous. They absolutely are listening. They are watching. They know what's being said. They know, for better or for worse. And yeah, they are listening. They are making things that fans want, obviously. And just because they didn't make a Jango Fett Slave 1 last year when they should have doesn't mean they aren't listening. They know dang well people want a Jango Fett Slave 1. They just refuse to make it. But stuff like that aside, they are clearly doing things that people want to buy. What is absolutely questionable, however, is the execution of said things. Things like the new 212 helmets looking absolutely terrible, potentially being the worst, looking piece of anything in LEGO Star Wars ever. Like, with that print, it's just the worst. But whether or not they're at least doing conceptually what people seem to be asking for, yeah, there's no question. They're doing that. It's, like I said, the execution that has been questionable at best. Omer K says, what separatist set should LEGO remake or release in the near future? Should LEGO remake the tactical droid? Yeah, that tactical droid is like crazy expensive. It's like $100 now. Love to see a new one of those. Anything but like battle droids in some of these sets, bro. I'm just kind of tired of here's 2 battle droids just because. Here's 2 more battle droids, another sprinkle of battle droids. It's like every time I go to Zaxby's, they give me a piece of toast. And it's not that toast is bad. I just don't want toast. But LEGO has done a ton of clone sets, and not so much from the droid side of things. The last set being the AAT, which, I didn't like. Some people will defend endlessly for no reason. But the AAT being the last set, I think the sensible next big separatist set would be another MTT. That's something that people have really wanted to see revisited in a better form than what they did in 2014, more akin to 2007. Whether or not that happens, who's to say? But I think it's obviously probably number 1 on people's separatist wish list. Outside of that, the set I'm most nostalgic for is like the 2009 Corporate Alliance Tank Droid. I would love to see them do another one of those for the Clone Wars anniversary next year. I think that would be a perfect match. JB Sargent says, the reason Costco puts LEGO on sale is that people have to pay a monthly charge in order to shop there. Because of this, they are able to sell their items such as LEGO at a discount compared to other sellers. And I understand what you're saying. However, I pay $60 a year to go to Costco. I think that's what the membership rate is for the base membership. And let's say I go buy a Naboo N1 Starfighter for $30 instead of $60. I buy 2 of them, in fact. Now I've saved the entirety of my membership cost. But obviously Costco didn't pay $60 for them. Maybe they paid $40 for them, which is 33% off, so that's not too bad. So Costco's losing $10 on each. Let's say I buy 6, which I think I have bought 6 at that price. Now I've completely paid for my Costco membership, and everything I buy from here on out from them is they are losing money on. So I don't think the memberships from like a person like me are paying for that difference. And I've seen comments and discussions saying that they must get better deals from LEGO, and it's entirely possible. I don't know how much better you can get than 30 to 40% off from LEGO though. Like there's no way they aren't losing money at sets when they're selling them for 50% off. Like obviously if they sell X amount at, you know, their small profit margin, maybe they're making money. Costco might like kind of wane their LEGO out, unless Costco's doing it on purpose and it's like a loss leader for them. Like they can't keep losing money on stuff like this. So over time, we might see less Costco deals going into the next few years and beyond. So that's just something to keep an eye out for. But that $60 membership cost, like that gets eaten through by a person like me pretty quickly. I'm sure they look at their like product portfolio and all the food and other supplies and things that they sell more holistically than I am. This episode is sponsored by Whatnot, and I'll keep it really straight for you guys. If you haven't heard of Whatnot, you can buy things on it and you can sell things on it. If you haven't bought anything on it before, you can get a $15 credit by using my link in the description below, and you can also sign up to sell things using the other link in the description below. But this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be having an epic holiday LEGO Star Wars live stream where I'm going to be selling tons of different holiday themed LEGO Star Wars minifigures from advent calendars over the years, including 100 Gonk Droids. I hope people like Gonk Droids. These will be in the buy it now. They're not for auction. Whatnot also sent me 15 of their limited edition holiday trooper that I believe there is only 100 of. So I'll be auctioning those off too. All of the auctions will start at $1. Also during the live stream, I'll be giving away 4 reindeer battle packs periodically throughout. And at the very end, I will be giving away the Christmas LEGO Star Wars X-Wing, a like $800 LEGO Star Wars set for free to one of you guys that's there during the streams. Links in the description below, and let's get back to our questions. Jake says, I watched your LEGO Foosball review and I realized something. You are one of the only reviewers that actually bought it. I realized that when you were being brutally honest about how lackluster the play functionality was, which other reviewers are not saying. Do you agree that your reviews are more trustworthy and honest because you pay your own money for what you review, or am I reading into this too much? Love the content. Keep it up. Go Patriots. So as far as whether or not my reviews are more trustworthy and honest, that is completely up to you and other viewers to decide. And that's the whole point of like why disclosure is important and why people in the LEGO Ambassador network are supposed to disclose that they are in that network. Like if LEGO gives this to me for free, I am morally and legally obligated to say, hey, I got this for free to review. Whether or not that actually affects how I'm reviewing the product, whether or not I would have said anything differently if I had spent $20 on this versus having received it for free and early from them, that is supposed to be left up to the viewer to be able to interpret for themselves, because like obviously I'm not in a position where I can be like, yeah, I'm definitely not having my opinion changed by the fact that they gave this to me for free and early. Now, I like to think I didn't. I feel like I've always been pretty upfront and honest about it. But at the end of the day, that is supposed to be for the viewer to decide, and that is why disclosures like that are important. Now, that being said, I don't think you're wrong. I think there is a pretty interesting thing going on here with some of the LEGO Ambassador Network people and reviewers in there. What I've noticed in the space over the past couple years is a lot of these people will only ever make videos on the things they are sent for free. They don't actually seem to care about LEGO. They don't seem to actually buy and review any products unless it is explicitly given to them for free from the LEGO group to make a video on. It's kind of insane. When I looked into it, I was like, has this person done a video on this set, but they've done all the other sets from that theme? That's so weird. Why wouldn't they do that one? Oh, they didn't get it for free. It's like, it blows my mind. I'm like, why? So they just don't care about the things outside of the things that they're given. Maybe a little off the rails there, but more specifically, when it comes to the LEGO Foosball Table, one, it doesn't surprise me that, you know, not that many people have bought it to make a review on it because it's not a good set. You know, $250 is a lot of money for a set to make some random LEGO review on. Like, I get why people aren't buying it to make videos on it. And the other thing with the Foosball Table reviews, it's like LEGO's flying people out to Paris now for a LEGO Foosball Table, which is absolutely terrible. One of the worst sets they probably ever released. And then they're getting a positive review out of it. It's like, you can't not think what we're all thinking there, right? Like, whether or not it's the truth, who's to say? I can't possibly know. I'm not in that position. I'm not them. It's not my thing to say. But you can't not think it. As long as the influencer is being upfront that they receive something for free from LEGO, that's what matters. and then you can decide whether or not they are being fully true and honest about what they are saying about the product. Connor says, did you see that LEGO already put the Foosball table on sale for 30% off? Yes, they did, like 2 days after I released my video being like, the LEGO Foosball table is dumb, stupid, and dumb. Yeah, maybe if you wait till next year, it'll be another 75 bucks off, and it's a better deal for the guy that wanted the Foosball table real bad. But this might be a good opportunity at $75 off already. Stevie Ray Romo says, hey there, I'm a slightly new collector. I've been into it for about a year now, and I have 50 of the 2014 212 clone troopers. Some nice clone troopers. I'm considering putting them up for trade for brand new 212 clones. Mine are brand new mint condition as well. However, the poor helmet prints are what's holding me back in my decision making on this matter. Any advice? Now, what I would maybe recommend doing is taking all of the helmets off of your older clone troopers, and then you could sell off all of your 2014 bodies, heads, and legs together, just again saving your 50 helmets, and then buy 50 of the new clone troopers at like 10 bucks a piece after you've recouped as much money from the other parts, and then put the old helmet on the new trooper for a much better looking 501st trooper. I would also advise waiting a month or two to do this to see if the 212th trooper price goes down, because it just might. Yes says, can we give some respect to the 2015 Battle Droid troop carrier for having 14 Battle Droids?
Respect is important, but the sad thing is there's so little respect left in the world that if you look up the word behind me in the dictionary, you'll find it's been taken out.
Matt Finn says, how much do you think LEGO set designers make? This is a really interesting question that doesn't have a concrete answer. I Googled it because that's the best thing I could do, and I could find that the average LEGO group senior designer salary is between $120,000 and $140,000 a year, which is a really good salary, except you have to live in Denmark, where it's freezing cold all year. No thank you. And as far as normal designers go, it feels like the average is somewhere just north of $50,000 from just a few different websites online. It's hard to know because LEGO doesn't make all of this public as far as I'm aware, but I would probably guess that $50,000 to $60,000 range for a normal designer, and then the 100+ range for a senior designer makes sense. Apparently the highest paid job at the LEGO group is $234,000 a year for the director of sales, which doesn't feel like a lot for LEGO. Like, I'm sure their CEOs make more, but like, of like the employees, you would, I guess, I don't know. It's just a $250,000 and that's kind of it. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously it's a ton of money, but it's also kind of not when you're working for multi-billion-dollar LEGO that's making billions and billions of dollars every year. I don't know. I for whatever reason, expected that number to be higher. Another one is, are LEGO employees happy? It says 89% of LEGO Group employees feel their work environment is positive, meaning LEGO Group is a happy place to work. That must mean 11% is LEGO Star Wars. Fritz says, what do you think of LEGO doing false advertising again on the latest box art? I think it tells us a lot about how LEGO Star Wars and LEGO as a company operates. Not that I already didn't feel like I knew that, but, you know, obviously nobody at LEGO is being held accountable for their poor work. Nobody cares, and nobody gets in trouble. It's that straightforward. I think that's what we can literally take away from the box art on this set. If someone at LEGO had gotten in trouble or reprimanded in any way, shape, or form for the atrocity of the 212th troopers, then this wouldn't be happening either, you know? But here we are in 2023 and the same problem persists. And I'm sure it'll happen again later in the year. As far as what I think of it, it's obviously terrible and doesn't really have a place in LEGO. Part of me is also starting to think that that fluff piece on LEGO Star Wars designers from LEGOCon last year, where they're like, every time we put a pink brick in a LEGO set, we eat a pink cake. Maybe they actually get a pink cake every time they do false advertising or severely screw up a LEGO Star Wars minifigure. That must be when they get pink cake.
Whenever we manage to include a pink brick in one of our sets, we get cake.
Oh, we got the pink cake.
So if you ever see a pink brick in a LEGO Star Wars set, just know we had cake.
I really thought a lot of that LEGOCon stuff was like borderline cringy acting, and also really a piece to try to make LEGO Star Wars designers look better after all the bad things that they did for themselves the year prior. Saying stuff like, all anyone remembers is a yellow clone commander. Like, that's why that LEGOCon thing existed in my eyes. But going back on it, like rewatching it for this video, this next part was really funny, and I still think it is. I give them that.
Here they are, all 2023 sets, and they're all amazing. Look at this one, for instance. It just looks fantastic. I think the came out great with on the and also new minifigures. And it's just fantastic.
Big Texas says, what's the next $500+ UCS set? And what's the next UCS remake gonna be, you think? If I was gonna bet money on either of these things, I would bet on a UCS Death Star being the next $500+ UCS set, because I just feel like we're way overdue for a Death Star, especially one with panels. And then I would also bet on the Slave 1 being the next remake. DC Video says, do heel cracks on minifigures devalue them very much? I know torso cracks are a big deal in the LEGO community. People on eBay and Bricklink never mention heel cracks, but are usually sure to mention the condition of the torso. And this is almost undoubtedly because heel cracks are, one, not as big of an issue to people, and two, because it's not common knowledge that heels can even crack, I would say. I didn't really know about heel cracks until less than a year ago, you know? So it's not like it's this thing that's been a huge thing for LEGO for the last 20 years on the internet. More importantly, with the torso crack, when you move an arm, you kind of can know if a torso is cracked. And so when you move that arm, you figure out, you're like, oh, the torso's cracked, I'll put that on my eBay listing or whatever, and that's how people find out. Versus the heels, like, you don't even think to look at the heels. Like, I don't even think about it. I've only had a heel or two crack on a minifigure ever. Like, it's not even like a common thing, like the arms cracking. As far as if it devalues them very much, it definitely would. Like, if you mention it, someone is going to be willing to pay less money than they would if something's in perfect, good condition, you know? That's just how it is. I don't know exactly what that devaluation is, though. That is just not something I am an expert in, unfortunately. Takeover Shark says, do you know of any retired LEGO set stores in Orlando, Florida? So I live about an hour from Orlando, so I'm obviously very familiar with the area. And as of right now, there is like no third-party LEGO stores in Orlando. It would be a great place to open a third-party LEGO store. You know, kind of something akin to like Atlanta Brick Co., but like in Orlando, like a Bricks and Minifigs or something, you know, who's to say. Like, I know there's a Bricks and Minifigs over in Tampa, but I am not a fan of that Bricks and Minifigs. I think it's the worst Bricks and Minifigs I've been to. Every time I go there, there's like hardly anything available in the store. So it would be really cool if there was a third-party LEGO store opening in or around the Orlando area in 2023.